Everyone. I'm George, the CEO and co-founder of OneSignal, and with me I have Rya, our staff product manager. Today I'm going to walk you through where customer engagement is headed and what we're excited to launch today. And then I'm going to pass it over to Rya for a demo. We'll also have some time for Q&A at the end. So if you think of questions along the way, look forward to answering them. So if you look at the last 10 years, software has predominantly been used through a dashboard. Marketers would log in, create predefined rules, build audiences manually, and set up campaigns by hand. The software provided the powerful dashboard, but then you would bring the people, the time, and expertise to make it work for you. And the better that software got, the more of a team you needed to operate it. And sometimes you needed more budget to build that team, and everything started to take longer because of the added complexity and capabilities. In addition to that, we've seen that customer acquisition costs have kept increasing. So onboarding, engaging, and retaining signups means you have more channels, more campaigns, and more experiments to run, oftentimes more than your team can realistically manage to do as effectively as possible. Um, and I think for many of us, we have our peers or our managers asking us what our AI plan is. And that's something that we've heard consistently from the customers that we work with, the founders, marketers, and product managers that are trying to drive more revenue for their mobile app and for their business. We now see the customer engagement landscape evolving dramatically, and the squeeze is getting tighter. As we look at software today, we're at an inflection point. This method of using dashboards is starting to change from a dashboard interface to more of a co-pilot interface where platforms actively automate work and start to inject not just automation, but also intelligence into workflows. You can accomplish many of the same tasks, but with much less effort and with better results. We're also thinking about a world beyond that, not just AI co-pilots, but autonomous agents. This is a world where we see OneSignal agents operating autonomously with customers setting goals and guardrails, and then OneSignal building and launching campaigns that help businesses achieve the results they're looking for. This is happening in several steps. It's starting with manual workflows to AI-assisted workflows and eventually autonomous execution. The vision we have is a platform that teams can delegate work to, with an emphasis on practical autonomy. You'll delegate bounded work, like a reactivation journey, and OneSignal will do it for you within the scope and rules you've defined. You set a goal in the guardrails, then OneSignal plans, sends, tests, and improves the whole program against it, and it reaches out to you when it needs more information or approval. And to achieve this vision, today we're going to be announcing several capabilities that we've rolled out that start to bring us closer to this. The first is OneSignal AI. This is launching today in open beta. OneSignal AI is an in-app copilot built into the dashboard. You can ask questions in natural language, like, how are my push notifications performing? Or you can have it take actions, such as creating a segment or composing a message. Anyone on your team can self-serve insights, and they can take actions without necessarily having deep expertise or knowing how every feature works. This saves a lot of time and it cuts overhead. OneSignal AI is built on state-of-the-art models from Anthropic, and we're always updating the models that it's used so that you'll always have the latest power and performance available to you. You'll get to save time with added intelligence and less manual work. And because OneSignal is used by tens of thousands of people every day, we're watching how people use it, and we're continuously improving it to make sure that it's providing the best possible outputs for every prompt that it sees. Next is AI-powered journeys, and that's probably the most exciting part of OneSignal AI. AI-powered journeys lets you generate complex multi-channel journeys from simple prompts, with AI suggesting the optimal timing, channels, and messaging. You can also automatically create A/B test variants and test different approaches in the journey to see what delivers the best results. You can access pre-built journey templates based on proven best practices. We see many customers spend hours a week creating and tuning their journeys and trying to think of how to make them better. Now, instead of spending those hours, your team can describe the outcome they want, and the platform will build it in seconds. Also, we're going to be releasing a public journeys API. This API lets you programmatically create journeys or have your own agents create journeys on your behalf without you even having to log into the OneSignal dashboard. Next, I'm excited to announce that OneSignal is going headless. So similar to how I talked about the API for journeys, we want every feature of OneSignal to be available in a programmatic way through our API and available to agents. This happens through the OneSignal MCP, our upcoming Slack plugin, and the different APIs that we offer for journeys, message authoring, and analytics. Being headless means that you can control OneSignal with natural language from your own AI tools or from Slack. It's designed for AI fluent builders, and there's over 30 tools spanning message authoring, user management, subscription management, template management, segments, live activities, exporting data, and reviewing analytics. This unlocks agentic workflows so an agent can monitor outcomes, spot opportunities, build segments, and trigger engagement campaigns fully autonomously. And all of this, of course, utilizes the OneSignal MCP. The MCP allows you to orchestrate multi-tool workflows without custom integrations. You can use the AI command center of your choice, such as Claude, ChatGPT, or coding tools like Cursor to set up and use the OneSignal platform. You can also bring in data that's stored in other systems and import that into OneSignal, as well as take data out of OneSignal and help you analyze that in third-party tools. All of this helps you build better campaigns and achieve better business outcomes. And now I'm going to hand it over to Rya for a live demo.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, George, for talking us through that. I'm Rya, product at OneSignal, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in practice. Let's walk through this as the head of growth at Horizon Financial, a fintech company that just onboarded with OneSignal. Before I show you what OneSignal AI can do, I want to show you the context layer that it works from. BrandKit. BrandKit helps you define your brand identity context layer that our AI functionality reads from before doing any action. Brand identity includes things as basic as your industry and primary audience, voice and tone, any language that you want to avoid, but also includes your visual brand, such as logos, fonts, as well as colors. So you can define all of that within BrandKit, and anything that OneSignal AI generates from this point forward reads from BrandKit first, and so you're not cleaning up after AI output after the fact. It already knows how your app speaks. So I've been doing a lot of blast sends to my customers, and that's going okay, but I want to do better. Best practices say I have to target users with content relevant to them. And so let's see what sort of targeting I've been overlooking. So OneSignal AI can help me with that. Here I've asked it, what segments am I missing to properly target my customers? And so you can see it's already looked through what segments I currently have, what data I have available in OneSignal that I'm not using today that I can effectively use to better message. So let's look at investors. I have an open investment event with a few events here, but no segment to target users. That's actually a great place for me to start. So I can ask OneSignal AI to create this segment for me. It gives me a quick preview of which users are in this segment. And let's go ahead and take a look. So here I've got my investor segment, and I can see exactly what OneSignal AI has built. It is using our custom event open investment, has been performed within the last 90 days, and it's built to set this up nicely for me. Next, what I can do is I can ask OneSignal to help me draft an educational message to these customers to invite them to a webinar on the future of finance. That should be an email, and just show me. So let's actually go ahead. It's given me a little preview. Let's take a look at what it has done. It's also telling me here that I have to fill in my webinar date, webinar time, and a registration URL, but we can go ahead and take a look at the preview. And so here we see Horizon Financial, my logo is nicely in there, some nice content about the future of finance, live webinar, what you'll learn, date, time, duration. as well as a nice call to action here at the bottom. So OneSignal AI helped me to identify my audience gap, build my segment, write on brand copy. All of that is easily a half a day's of work, and it's something that you can do with just a few prompts in a few minutes, and it's already ready to send. But let's actually do something a little bit more complicated. I want to move from sending one-off bulk messages to something a little bit more automated. I want to reach my users at key moments to offer guidance, drive purchasing behavior, or further engage them in my app. So let's say I want to drive new users to their first deposit within OneSignal. Now, new users typically are using my application, so I want this to be a push message, but sometimes people don't look at their phone, and I do want to have a fallback and email them if they don't open that push message. So here I've asked OneSignal to help me create a onboarding journey to help drive those first deposits, reaching out on days 1, 2, 4, and 6. Let's take a look at what it has done. So I can go ahead and open this journey draft in OneSignal, and I can already see I have my trigger audience segment. It is using new users without deposits, which is great. It is also has drafted a push notification for me here. Your account is ready. Make your first deposit. And what it's doing is it's waiting here for 6 hours. And if the user has not opened my push notification, it's actually sending an email as well. And I can go and take a look at that email. Again, everything is on brand and adheres to what I've defined in my brand kit and context. If users did open that push notification, I don't want to overwhelm them with messaging, and so I am not sending them any message, and they will move on to day 2 and day 4 and continue this journey. So voila, I've created a 4-touch multi-channel onboarding sequence, push notifications with an email fallback, timing logic, audience targeting, and a template drafted for every single message. What used to take many, many, many hours, potentially a couple days, now all accomplished with one prompt. So everything that I just showed you happens within the dashboard, but many teams don't live in dashboard. And so I want to show you 2 more ways to access that same power without having to switch context. The first I want to show you is MCP. If I want to wire OneSignal into my existing tools and workflows, I can do that with OneSignal's MCP. No need to log into the dashboard. In this case, I am asking OneSignal to help me build a branded email for my users who have completed that onboarding journey, but they actually still haven't made a deposit after 7 days. So the goal again here is to get them to make that first deposit, and I want them to go through. So OneSignal MCP has gone ahead and created that onboarding journey for me, message for me, and let's take a look at what it built. So here we go. Our message subject here is your setup. Your money isn't moving yet. Hopefully that's a nice booster for customers. And you can read in here, hey, you finished onboarding 7 days ago. Your account is verified and ready, but you haven't made that deposit yet. And a nice button that says, make my first deposit. Everything on brand, on visual brand, on tone brand, everything built for me. I can see the HTML here and edit. Go ahead and edit those links and add personalization, and I will consent and be ready to go. So same outcome as if I had built this using OneSignal in the dashboard, but I never had to open the dashboard. I can build it and send it all directly from MCP. For teams using agentic workflows, this really unlocks OneSignal as infrastructure that your other tools can talk to directly and lets you build a system that works for you. The other area that I want to show you is for teams who are running their businesses in Slack. Everything that we showed you is also available within Slack. This is where you can see performance insights, campaign questions, analytics, campaign setup. The same intelligence that you had within the dashboard, within MCP, is also available here. OneSignal meets you where you are, so you don't have to do any context switching. So let's take a look I can ask OneSignal to help me draft a message to my most engaged users to highlight features. So I've kicked that off. OneSignal AI helps ask a few questions to help clarify how I want to send this message. I answer those questions and it goes ahead and drafts that for me. And you can see I can also send it directly from within Slack as well. And voila. I can also ask it about performance. So here I've asked it what my best performing push notification is, and to give me some analysis about it. So it's told me, hey, this testing retention metrics sent to my all segment best performing. I have one converted and one open from my 6 folks who have received it, and 26 successful deliveries. And it's giving me a quick kind of rundown of that message. So putting OneSignal's MCP directly into Slack gives us a performance insight in context without needing to switch to a different application, letting you kind of continue to do work where you already live. So in the old way of doing things, you brought your team, your time, and your expertise to help run the platform. What I just showed you is the new way. You bring the goals, the strategy, and the context, and OneSignal handles the execution continuously across every channel for every user in the moments that matter. Back to you, George.
Thanks, Rya, for the wonderful demo. So as you just saw, we're in a moment of change. We're going from people manually doing the work to directing AI to do it on their behalf. Yesterday, you had to push a button for each step of setting up journeys, authoring campaigns, gathering insights, and so on. Today, you just ask OneSignal through your AI. That could be through OneSignal AI, your AI command center of choice, or even through Slack, and agents will build from there. Next, we're working towards proactively suggesting what you should do in the platform. In the future, you'll be able to set goals and guardrails, and OneSignal will build and launch campaigns that continuously improve on their own and reach out to you when they need additional context or approval to begin running. OneSignal will continue to orchestrate the messages and notifications across multiple channels to drive users through each step of their lifecycle, from onboarding, engagement, and retention. All of this to help customers like yourselves see increased activation, improved monetization, and greatly reduced churn. And with that, we'll bring it over to Q&A. If you have questions, please type them in the Zoom chat, and we'll answer as many of them as we can. All right, the first question I see, can AI handle multi-language emails and pushes, such as creating the templates using liquid syntax and making sure the message is sent in the correct language? Can you respond to this one, Ryan?
Yep, absolutely. So I can handle multi-language emails and pushes. It works very well with our liquid syntax to make sure that the right things are getting injected in the right place.
Great. Next question. Can the MCP work on drag and drop templates or just the HTML format? Will it be on the future MCP integrate on already created drag and drop? I think the question is, will the MCP work on templates that have already been created via the drag and drop editor?
The MCP currently only works on the HTML editors.
Yeah, which means I think existing templates created via drag and drop will have to be converted to HTML if you want to be able to modify them through the MCP. Next, will support for Basecamp be available as is possible with Slack? Couple thoughts on that. I think as long as Basecamp offers its own MCP or API, that means your agent can combine the OneSignal MCP alongside Basecamp's MCP to tie these two together. You can also often many of these AI command centers let you create background agents that can do something like polling Basecamp for tasks and then executing them in OneSignal AI. Next question. Can you also optimize existing journeys, or does it currently only support creating new journeys from scratch? All right, do you want to answer that one, Ryan?
Yep. So today, OneSignal AI supports creating new journeys from scratch. However, the next thing that we're working on is making updates to existing journeys. This is a little bit more complicated, as you can imagine, since there's a lot of edge cases to handle with users who are currently going through these journeys and the updates that we're making. So we want to make sure that this is being done right. But that is coming next.
Thank you. I see a question in chat, which is, will these features be launched to all OneSignal users for all different tiers? Are there limits to how many messages or journeys or something are developed with AI chat? Generally, what limits are there? The answer to that is that all of OneSignal AI features are available for free across all plans today. However, existing OneSignal feature limits for each plan are still in place. So, for example, on the growth plan, you can have up to 3 journeys today, and that limit is still in place. That said, we are going to be adding more higher limits to our free plan. And so currently the free plan, for example, only lets you create 1 journey. And in the coming months, we're going to update that so you can create additional journeys as well as get access to some other features previously on the growth plan will be on the free plan as well. Here's a question. Our lifecycle marketing is still highly manual. If you had to recommend the first automation every team should implement to save time while improving engagement, what would it be? I think what comes to mind for me is a journey to re-engage users who haven't interacted with your app or your brand recently. Oftentimes, people just forget why they installed your app in the first place, and a reminder can get them re-engaged again to continue to use it or maybe complete any onboarding process that you have. Do you have any suggestions, Raya, in addition to that?
No, that sounds absolutely great. I think that's one of the areas where if you're not thinking about automation at all, it applies to absolutely everybody. Bring your users back in. You've spent all of that energy getting them into your platform and like but nurturing them. You should absolutely make the most of it and don't just let them fade away without kind of throwing a few things out there.
Definitely. There's a question, what about hallucinations? Is context reset supported without supporting metadata retention in memory? So in the OneSignal AI chat, each conversation you start has a new context window. And we would recommend starting a new conversation for each discrete project or task that you're working on. In general, OneSignal AI does not use a lot of context, so you shouldn't need to worry about running low of context and having the performance decline. Although, of course, if you are having if you are doing many things with OneSignal AI, you probably do want to break those up into multiple conversations. Question, any plans to be able to include LLM nodes within a journey? This would be useful to be able to write personalized messages one-to-one based on each user's tags or events. Do you want to speak to that, Red?
Yeah, that is a fantastic idea that we absolutely have been considering and thinking about in general, bringing the power of LLMs to better message our audiences is something that is highly relevant for OneSignal. Don't have a timeline for something like that yet, but it is very much aligned with what the new world is going to look like.
Yeah, and that's actually since it's something that we are definitely thinking about and planning to work on in the future. We'll take note of your contact information and we'll reach out to you in case you might be available to give us some ideas or feedback on the early thoughts that we have on this feature. Next question. Can I use my existing AI subscriptions or do I need to buy the same AI tools again in OneSignal? So all of OneSignal's AI tools are included for free on your existing plan. There's no additional charge for them. In the future, it is possible we will introduce new features that will have their own pricing. But for everything that you saw, that's included for free, and our intention is to keep that free on an ongoing basis. In addition to that, yeah, you may have existing AI tools that you pay for, such as ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. And you can use the OneSignal MCP within those tools for no additional charge. Let's see if there's any other questions that I missed. Question, how can this platform help marketers and optimize campaigns, and does it support the Arabic language? You want to respond to that one, Rhea?
Yeah, absolutely. So OneSignal AI in particular has access to all of the analytics within that you have within OneSignal. So it can absolutely look across all of your messages, help you analyze performance, and also make recommendations based on those analyses for future messaging. So all of that is available at your fingertips within OneSignal or via the MCP, and you that's something that you can build into your existing workflows today. In terms of the Arabic language, I don't believe the platform itself supports Arabic, but you absolutely can send messages in Arabic. In push notifications, for example, you can add languages, and Arabic is an option there for you to reach out to users in that segment.
That's right. Yeah. So when it comes to sending messages, yeah, we support all languages, including right to left languages. And you can use AI to localize your campaigns into Arabic or any languages of your choice. When it comes to the dashboard, there's no built-in localization for the dashboard, but we do see many people that use the translation features built into their browser, and the dashboard is designed to be compatible with that browser capability. There's a question. I missed the first 10 minutes. Can I find this video somewhere after this goes live? I believe all webinar registrants will receive a recording of this webinar after it finishes. I think that wraps up all the questions. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. We're very excited to see how you use OneSignal AI, the OneSignal MCP, and the other AI features that we'll be rolling out over the coming weeks and months. If you have feedback, we would love to hear it. OneSignal AI has a link at the bottom to submit feedback about the prompts. But also you can use our support chat and submit any feedback, questions, or issues that you encounter. We'll obviously be looking at those really closely because this is a big focus for us, and we want to make sure that everybody here in our broader customer base have the best experience possible.